Too bad I can't live like before. But I'm working on it though. How's everybody doing? Good evening. It's 7:30 here. Cold in Houston. Busy, taking care of wrapping up. Um, I'm happy to say I would like to do Ivan's chart like around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I would like to do that and send him the videos that we had an issue with the again downloads. It was a YouTube situation. So Ivan, the videos have been done, not done, they're done, but you need those 7 hours worth of videos, and it's actually good that you see those before your birth chart. So that's the reason why the delay is here. Sometimes God works in mysterious ways, but I would love for you to see those videos first before I give you your chart because you have more questions. So when we talk, you will have questions to ask me, and we can do it interactively. You won't be too silent because there will be a wealth of information that you can want in addition to what I'm going to tell you. So we'll probably, if not the consultation, I'd rather not do it tonight. I want those videos for you to see first. That's Ivan. Jesse, I'm also gonna send you the 7 hours worth of videos. Please text me your email address at this number 281-690-8825 because the chart is ready too. Okay, Jesse Larson. And then have the 25. All right. So anyone would like a reading, you can definitely go for a reading or a birth chart tonight. It will begin tonight and will probably continue until Tuesday. Yeah, I instead of making it 2 hours, I decided to make it either 2 hours, 2 days in a row, or 1 hour, 3 days in a row. Yeah, that will work best. I've been actually trying to revamp the model. That way you get the most for your money. Remember that it's a year's of commitment. So now I'll be working on your chart with you for an entire year and teaching you how to read it. Okay? And also progressing it and pushing it for a day, for a year or degree. And so that's the added bonus I'm adding now to anyone who gets a birth chart. I will also add the progressions. If they are important for the cycle that you're in at the particular age that you come to me or any astrologer for a birth chart. Okay, the past life readings. I was told to tell you that what you should be looking for in the past life reading are patterns of reacting behavior or being. And the dynamic that I see in the past life will reflect those. Either deficiencies, but also some talents and gifts that were probably at a germinal seed in those lifetimes, and now they are sprouting in the current life. Because everything is a evolutionary process, everything. So that's the focus that I want you to look at, and I'm also going to focus on that as well. Not so much any grand, glamorous past life, because in reality, humanity was very primitive, very basic. What's obvious today, as far as the human evolution and its advancement, was probably not even important or dim in other lifetimes. What I'm saying is that the lifetime might have been kind of ordinary, sedentary, and limited. There may be some rare exceptions where you find royalty, glamour, and blah blah blah. But for the most part, it won't be that. People lived pretty ordinary lives, and if there's anything notable worth noting of any of these past lives, is the repetitive patterns of behavior and psychological motivation that dominated the situation at that time and age for that particular portion of development. And is that still happening, or has there been an evolution of consciousness where now the person is a little bit more elevated than before? and we're looking for those characteristics also in the past life readings. That's why they're important. We see patterns, and it could be healthy or not, and then you make the choice to correct them. Now let's see. I started early. Please donate. Please give. ZELLE 281-690-8825 or CashApp. Fernando, FERNA5 NDO. Much appreciated. Trying to take out my glasses. It always gets, stuck in the pocket. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. Let's see who's going to be first. Ashley Witz, how are you? Lax of love, live. God says Roxy, underscore Roxy. Locks of love. Saturn. Hi, I want to pass live reading. This is Amelinix. Amelinix, you're first. That's live reading for Amelinix. And let me see what they're going to tell me which dynasty to choose. Egyptian Tarot. Dealing with they're telling me the old kingdom. The old kingdom. And this was pre the Egypt that we learned in school and from archaeologists and anthropologists. Okay. What was your life like? They're giving me 847. 847 BC. There was transitioning going on in Egypt and wars. It was the formation, the coming together. There were extraterrestrials at the time, and they lived with humans. Some would attach themselves to humans. It was a common thing in this period to see all kinds of flying objects in the night sky and landing, and people running to their tents or hiding, many hid in caves, underground caves. Today we have lots of caves, underground caves that were evident of people living in them, like dwelling. When we see this, what will make it go underground in darkness, no light, no air, no trees, unless there was something threatening that happened outside in the atmosphere or in the open. So this is one of those periods in which today archaeologists look at these caves, especially in Africa, and they look like colosseums of rooms, like hotel rooms, which is evident that people at one point they lived inside the earth. But why? What were they hiding from? So it was a time where there was lots of flux happening on this planet. And one of them definitely was visitations, and for some, infiltration with humans. Right? This is why we have, and you can read in the book of Revelation, the four archangels, the fixed angels, the eagle, which is Scorpio, Aquarius, which is the man, I believe. Leo is the lion, right? And then we have I forgot what's the other one. What's the Aquarius? What's the other one? Taurus. Taurus. These are the cherubs. They're there guarding the north, the south, the east, and the west. Not just of the earth, but our solar system. So there is no invasion from other star systems towards our solar system. That's why the cherubs are there in the four corners. They're protecting our solar system. Because that went on. That was necessary. Just that the earth wasn't created with no protection. The protection had to be warranted. So everything evolves. So there was a lot of activity happening here. Also, the story of Ezekiel and the spaceship that comes down that he sees took place around this time. So that's very interesting. That I did not expect. Okay, let's see here. You understood writing. Well, cuneiform writing, cuneiform tablets, and stick writing. A lot of linguists, anthropologists tell us that language did not exist an X amount of years. They actually give you a measurement of timeline. But the reality is that new findings have shown that there was a form of writing far, far earlier than suspected cuneiform or Sumerian tablets or emerald tablets. This is when those were found able then define that the writing began at this particular period. But no, the cuneiform tablets might have been a high elevation, but the writing of ideas and thoughts did occur much earlier than the emerald tablets or the Sumerian tablets. Right? You were in that early stage of writing. There was no paper, there was no ink, so the writing was done through clay by carving with fingers or sticks. Right? This continued onto the time of Ra, which is slowly emerging before the bull. So this is a very ancient. This also shows that there may have been artistic abilities, creative abilities, with the sun on the top, which is Leo energy, which is creativity. Right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rays. You drop the 0, you have 1, which is Aries. And the sun is exalted in Aries. So you could have been an Aryan. But I get here a woman, Aries. You were very, very spiritually connected and walking with Source. Again, we see the sun of Ra with the 10 rays around it. Coming out next to, here we have the same sun, the same Ra energy. So there's a protection divinely that follows you from lifetime to lifetime. Very beautiful, very nice. Yes, I'm loving it. But there was poverty here. 5 of Pentacles. There was poverty and loneliness, and there was lots of scarcity and a scarcity mentality. Most humans, of course, had this. This is not unique. We have to evolve from this, right? The uniqueness of your protection and gifts became more heightened as the hard times through poverty also increased in that lifetime. So there might be issues with money, the scarcity mentality, which here was developed And now maybe you may have remnants of these things. Maybe you need to evolve these things. Maybe you're still thinking this way from past lives about scarce mentality. Or now connecting to your gifts. Judgment. Here is Anubis guiding you from the last life, entering the new life. This is judgment. So you will held to something that you did not complete or care to finish, despite all the love and protection that you had. Hmm? This writing here may be part of the answer. Maybe what you started as a germinal seed in this lifetime now requires full adulteration in the current life. So this could be a writing talent, writing music, lyrics, or doing speeches for a major political figure or boss. Something concerning writing, it could be doing an app writing, technical writing as well. The devil. And the devil. The wow crocodile holding an emblem of corn. Fascinating. What this is telling me is that this is not the devil, like the evil force or obstacles which the devil key represents. It's not, doesn't mean that here. What it means is that this is also the career. Capricorn is the career, the 10th house, right? Fame, wealth, This might have been the germinal seed at that lifetime where this began to be developed. And now it has to come into its completion in the current life. Because in this past life, there was poverty, 5 of Pentacles. Here, we have what needs to be fixed or focused on, the career, learning and focusing on your expertise in your craft. This might be still undergoing development. It might not be fully adulterated yet, but this is where it should be heading. There's issues here concerning money, finances, and lack mentality. And this is being called to be healed. And it began from this past life. Again, we see writing, something artistic, talent. You see? You started something as a germinal seed, and it continued. And this is going to continue until it reaches full adulteration, whatever it is that you do. You might write a major novel or a major book, something that's building from other lifetimes. And this is definitely reflected in the birth chart. A lot of Aquarius, a lot of Gemini. One more. It should be resonating for you. This is the Lovers. This is the 2. It's an arcana. And it's also the High Priest or the High Priestess. You know that this was before the Egypt that we know, with the knowledge of its polarities of life through the third eye. Here we see 2 pillars the same color. But in tarot, the Rider and Waite deck, the color should be white and black, and that's the High Priest. But here in the Egyptian, which is far older than the Waite and Rider deck symbols of occultism, it shows 2 green pillars. She's dressed in white and she has the star of a high priest or high priestess. So the knowledge that we ascribe today to witches, magicians, sorcerers, started in this very early period with you. So you have this, but it could be as a germinal seed, not fully adulterated. But it's an opportunity that you can probably develop in this life. It came out in the reverse, so you may have to work at this. And that's the reading. That is the reading. I hope you liked it. I hope you loved it. I did too. Yes. Thank you so much. If you're interested in more of past life, then it'll be 25, or 50. I'm gonna have to go with 50 because that way, if I do 25, I'll probably have to do more, which can drain my energy. So it'll be the first 5 that actually do it, and I'll go into a more extended reading of the past life or questions, and I can help you connect it to the current life. Okay, very good. Very good. Coffee. Okay. Who's next? Who is next? Who is it? Very good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Who else? This is Sabrina, the Princess Oline. Okay, Sabrina, you're next. Sabrina. Oh, Which one do Spirit want me to use? Okay. The Old Kingdom. Let's see. Okay, Sabrina. Guard your kidneys. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. There's an issue with pressure of the kidneys. Not enough water, maybe. Okay. If you have to urinate too much, there could be like a depression in that area. Nothing to be serious about, but they're telling me that it's nutritional. Make sure that you are eating the proper nutrients at a timely fashion. I'm getting salt. That's why I'm scratching. Is that this is not like mosquito bite, but it's in the same areas. But it's your energy that I'm picking up like this. The body might be too high in sodium, and you need more hydration, water going into the cells of the body. Just because one drinks a lot of water doesn't mean that you're being hydrated. The water might not enter the cells and go right out through the urine or the intestines. Okay. Strong. It's also distracting, so that might also be a part of the reading. Yeah. This is what they're telling me, and I'm feeling it. Oh wow, this is a level up for me that I didn't even realize. Uh, you almost died. Your life almost ended before it began. It seems like there was in those days swarms of locusts, but also of bees, and you got stung pretty badly by a swarm of bees that entered the tent at the time. Remember, the tent meant poverty. Living in cement house meant wealth. You were still living in tent now. and there were sandstorms, and he brought these bees, and uh, it was tough living the first 9 years. Remember, the life expectancy was not high. By 29, people died. A lot. Even though it was a superior time in different respects, it was still pretty urban and primal in other respects. And people didn't know anything about health and immunity, adaptive immunity, innate immunity. People didn't know that if you take a shit and don't clean your hands and you eat, you could put E. coli into your body, which is very dangerous if it's not in its right place, and you can die. These were basic mistakes that human beings did, as humanity at that time was still primitive in consciousness. All right. So let's see. I'm trying to feel and hear if they're giving me a period, and they did. This is 2000, 2011, 2011 BC, getting closer and closer to the unification and establishing of the upper and lower kingdoms of Egypt, which was still in its infancy. It was a volatile time. A lot was going on. There was problems and wars with Mesopotamia, Sumeria, Oprah, Damascus, and of course, Israel. Certainly not the Israel that we have today. But nonetheless, they were there. And you were there too. The Ace of Swords, with the energy of Ra appropriately behind. Very honest and very forthright. You were a Capricorn. Capricorn energy. You were a woman. You died early. Anubis came for your soul and ushered you into the next life. This was a stillborn. Had you been born normally, and many women lost their babies, at least their first baby, this was also common. Infection creeps in immediately. There were no midwives like we have today to clean and so many children died in this period. But you are supposed to be a very important space person, someone that eventually begins to learn to read and write. Because remember, reading and writing was non-existent in those days, only among the wealthy and the elite. So you can have a realistic understanding of humanity in that time period. People didn't go to work, go to school, go to church. These things we enjoy today, in those days, they were completely lacking. So people basically sat around and spoke stories and wrote on the sand with sticks. They did simple things, so you can understand the gravity of where we're beginning from versus where you are today in the fulcrum of humanity. Number 19. Again here, this is the 19th dynasty, with the energy of Ra still ruling. Coming out next to death, Anubis guiding you, he guided you into this world. Now we see 3109 BC, getting close to the bull, which is the celebratory rite of religion at that time, was the bull, under the leadership of the leading god, which was Amun Ra. Right? It was a magical time for Egypt. Egypt began to explore magical abilities, which reached the height of its glorious empire 5,000 years later, before its great fall. You were born a woman, and you were a witch, fully embracing your occult energies and gifts from the gods. There's issues here, though, in this lifetime of abuse of power and belligerence, arrogance, and narcissism. And this was something that was very common with women at the time. Even though we were dealing with thousands of years earlier, Cleopatra was also known to be such a narcissist. But I believe that she's been unfairly judged in history for being a woman which conquered a major empire of the time, both the Greek Roman Empire and Egypt all fell under the control of this queen. So all women wanted to emulate her. Unfortunately, Cleopatra the Seventh was a deadly murderess. If you know the story of Cleopatra, it's quite full of bloodshed. Full of bloodshed. Hi. Here we got the Six of Swords. Again, coming on next to the magic of Isis and great occult knowledge. Again, something happened here where your life was cut short. And I get here drowning. It must have been, and this is what is mysterious, that I don't ever remember reading in any of the books on the history of Egypt, ancient or current, is that there was another landmass northwest of it. And it caused it may have been volcanic activity here, and there might have been periodic tsunamis or catastrophes of that. It's like a reminder and a leftover of Atlantis, the period before this, which there was many volcanoes still blowing and exploding, because the Earth, we're going back hundreds of millions to billions of years. The Earth was still in its infancy, as well as the consciousness of humanity. You drowned, and that ends that life. Wow. There may be respiratory issues, lung issues, because of the smog of the volcanic ashes that was constantly threatening day to day the disease population coming from this island landmass. The spirit tells me that it did exist and sunk in another period, but it's no longer visible in today's morphology of the earth. The geology doesn't show any evidence of there being landmass. Not far from what today we call Ghana, which is West North Africa. Here we have Nine of Swords, more swords. Here we're next to the Six of Swords, close to it, the same way you die again. Now we're looking at 3 lifetimes. But here you drown, but not by a sea of tsunami, but by pneumonia. You drown in your own fluid. So there's definitely an affliction here concerning your health and dying early. And because of that, it's a big possibility that you live a long life in this life to compensate and make up for these other ones. Yeah. Now we are in 3009. Nine seems to play a major part. 3009 BC. We are now entering the beginnings of the kingdom of the powers of Ra through the bull and the celebration and promotion of culture, dance, literature, music, which falls under Hathor. Here begins her reign. And this is her, and she is worshipped as a goddess, and all women of the land want to emulate her. This is Cancer, the chariot, right? And we see success in this lifetime. You reach ripe old age, that in those days was a little over 30 years old. But you was not a mother, which is something you wanted to be. This is a female in this lifetime. Now I understand. Here in this life, and not in this life, but the immediate past life, I read for like 4, but they were short-lived. Here also, there was a mystery of betrayal, which led to murder, 10 of swords. So this victory was short-lived. Here we see pairs of lifetimes cutting short. Again, increasing the possibility that in this life you will live a lot longer to compensate for these short lifespans. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I hope it was a lot of fun. I certainly enjoyed it. Yes, very good. Next. Who's next? Yes, who's next? Yes, yes, yes. Who's next? Who's next? We read already, you, Corbin. How many past lives can one have? It's infinite. We don't know. It's infinite. I truly adore you, Earth Angel. You're so beautiful. God bless. Thank you so much. And I say you're rather light and divine protection and divine cover. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Can I have a past life reading, Uncle? This is Seti. Seti, you're next. Okay. Let's see what they want. They want Cleopatra. Now we're entering the 26th dynasty, the age of Ptolemy and the Cleopatras, who were also ruling pharaohs themselves. Hey, let's see. Oh yeah, I see more modernism. Oh, I can smell sandalwood. Yep, fully blown in the age of the bull. Carrying the bull. We're now at the bull. The energy of Ra, Amun Ra, in the reverse. So you was part of those who were oppressed by the kingdom. Remember the 10 Commandments? The Jews had to escape Egypt under Ramses II. His wife was Nefertiti. This is the period that we're talking about. The closing of the bowl, the cataclysm, Moses, the deluge. We're talking about this period, which is far older than what history tells us. You might have perished here. You were definitely under the oppressed. You might have been one of those people in the Israelites crossing the river Jordan to Canaan. I'm getting that. Yeah, Three of Wands. This is a sarcophagus. Okay, it came out in the reverse. This is the good. This is the bad. You died here. And again, there was volcanic activity here, and this was a burn here. Okay, but I'm not getting that the life perished. Oh yes, it did. You died days later. Organs shutting down. Okay, Eight of Cups. There was what's called a gray interval between births. You decided not to take physical form for a while, for a long while. You did not want to reincarnate until you had to. Yeah. You worshipped Cleopatra. There was a goddess named Cleopatra that we don't know anything about. Maybe the professional Egyptologists do. We don't know. We have that information. There was a Cleopatra that was worshipped here. It might have been pagan, different people worship different idols, different gods, nothing was organized until the church came in and did it by destroying them and creating one secular religion connected to source, which today, of course, is the Catholic Church. And from there, Catholic Church came out all the other derivatives, with the exception of Judaism and Islam, which are separate philosophies of religion. Right, so you were here at this time. See, you resurrected. You died here, took time not to come back to the earth or to this system, and then when you were ready, reincarnated again as a male. You were a farmer and a sheep herder, and you did lots of jobs, odd jobs, and this is like a Taurus energy, Scorpio energy. You also worked in like construction, in those days building Masonic homes, which began to occur at this time also. So you might have talents and skills like building things, bringing like a mechanic, something low to an architect, a master builder. And there was a lot, these were like new careers emerging at this time as people were moving away from tents and now moving to brick houses. People were living better. Okay. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. There was prosperity. And it was dealing with constantly working and accumulating coins, like a squirrel gathering the acorn for the winter. And you did this. You understood certain elements that today are laws of banking and finance. So you might have a talent here, a proficiency for managing money. Oh, look, this one just sprung out. This is the Tower. The Tower. And it came out in the reverse. With the Six of Pentacles, in today's reading, this will be racketeering and embezzlement. Nothing is new under the sun. So this was going on even then. Caught you into a lot of trouble, and you were stoned to death. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I liked it too. I hope you did. I hope you got something out of it. It's a lot of fun. If you want an extension, let me know. And just deposit the 25 or the 50 in the CashApp or ZELLE, and I will get to you tomorrow. I'll know it's you because I'm going to have your name in the chat name. Okay? And that'll be great. Who else is next? Seti, I believe we did that you already. Sabrina. I feel like my father was in Egypt. Yeah, right? Ashley Wilt. Of course, we all have past life. Absolutely. We bet Sabrina. Well, in those days, it wasn't, there was no definition of countries yet. Everything belonged to one central power, which was, at the time, Egypt. Emerging cities, states, things like that occurred further down the road in the same kingdom. They were there, but they weren't thriving cities that would call attention to huge populations. Egypt still reigns supreme. Mesopotamia, Sumeria, those were the center cities. Damascus, and of course, Lebanon, Ethiopia, Sudan, and of course, Israel. Wasn't Israel though at the time. Let's see. Somebody asking me, is the red race darker? No, it's red. It's red. It's not brown, it's not dark, it's actually red. Just like in India, we have what's called the blue people. Right? And very ancient. That was the time when Uranus was leading before Saturn castrated him and threw him out. So this is why they have the painting of Buddha blue, because the color of Uranus is totally blue. And you have Buddha laying on his side in India. This is symbolic of Uranus laying on its side in space. As above, so below. Right? And that was a whole different race of people. No longer evident today. It's in anthropology fascinating. The history of our planet and its inhabitants. Of course, it was not just always human. Okay. This is, what's her name? Claire Chag? What? Divine Lioness, number 4. Yeah, Divine Lioness. What are they telling me? Oh, wow. The first one for the evening. Wow. But it could also be a Horus, the Hermes. Okay, the beginning of the learning of Hermetic principles. Oh, wow. Yeah, these are actual gold, embroidered with actual gold. Wow. Of course, nothing but royalty for my subscribers. Many of you are royalty, whether you believe it or not. And I am going to do a special video about why many people don't believe that they're royal. And then I will explain why it's a possibility that you could be and why you're not living like a royal. All that can be explained. So I'm going to do a video about that. Okay, the lioness, the lovely lioness. Are you a Leo? Are you a Leo? Let me find out. Oh, I'm getting like 5,000 BC. Now, very engrossed into the period of the bull, Taurus, which was, 5,000 BC to 2,000 BC, thereabouts, particularly for you. Six of Wands. Six of Wands is victory. You was a woman, but a woman who was very codependent and never was able to accomplish any notable independent success or a name for yourself. For this is reverse. In this period, women still were limited in power, self-expression, or even self-knowledge. They didn't read or write. They tended to bearing children, taking care of their husbands, and creating communities with other women. Very communal. There was evidence here that the concept of the kitchen witch that we know today began at this time, at this period, where they compare notes, and work together as a group. This might have been the first coven of witches, even though it wasn't defined then, which was in the germinal seed. But I'm getting that kind of activity here. The witchcraft and spells didn't work. It was trial and error because they did not have the laws of these principles. Until the archons began the initiation of incorporating humans to be more like the archons that visited the planet. But they only chose those that showed potential for consciousness elevation, not those humans that were still in their primal animal state. Okay. And you were one of those that didn't make the cut. So there may be issues here of starting something and not finishing it, feeling somehow unworthy or not intelligent enough to carry out this type of study. Because in this period, people began to study, and people will sit in crowds and someone will speak like an orator. This is how Jesus started, and so many others. So that was the beginning of that. These people didn't realize that there has to be an initiation process for one to be able to call themselves a witch, because you have to have archons with you, dwelling within you, to give you these gifts. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands in the reverse with the Six of Wands indicates that I'm getting a lot of Gemini energy. You could have been a Gemini, but I get here lots of slander, lots of lies, lots of manipulation, like at the lowest base level. But in all fairness, most humans were of this mindset. There was no sense of dignity or morality. not among the Egyptians. Uh, so there was a lot of cunning energy here, very cunning. You come from that. She hurt a lot of people and destroyed a few lives. But this was something that everybody did. This is something that everybody wanted to do to get to the top. The very primal energy. There it is. The age of the bull, right? Under the leadership of the god of the time, which is Ra. Here, but this is also a symbol for magic and witchcraft, bull. It came out in the reverse. So you use certain energies or intent with the aid of wands next to it to cause harm or maybe even do like evil eye spell magic using the eye. That also happened a lot too. Witchcraft was the order of the day. And without having the education, the moral consciousness, or the initiation of higher beings to guide it, it became very decadent and very evil. The Egyptians were very, very big on that kind of stuff. And so this is telling me that you were a part of that. Here we go. Well, damn. It just gets better, Linus. Here we have judgment. Here we have a high priest in which you are begging for mercy. This is the Nine of Swords. Your life is being determined whether you continue to live or be stoned to death, which was the form of execution under the bull. Coming out next to the bull in the reverse, you were eventually stoned to death for practicing magic. Yeah. It's deep. It's deep. Coffee. But I wish I had a nice shot of Jack Daniels. Ooh. And I haven't had that in years. So maybe, the alcohol that today we call Jack Daniels was in existence even then. But it wasn't called Jack Daniels. Can you imagine how much it tastes? Somebody here just bought a $159 bottle. He brought it in today. I'm like, wow. But you know what's so sad here, Linus? You had the gift. Here's the scarab beetle, one of the symbols of magic, Hermes. But it's a Scorpio symbol. It's a Scorpio symbol. It represents life, but it also represents death. And next to the Nine of Swords, it was death. There was a judgment. And back in those days, judgment was ruthless, merciless. We have here Six of Pentacles, bounty, abundance. This is how it is. It came out in the reverse. And coming out next to the scarab beetle in the reverse, in the upright, means that you must have stolen or paid a merchant unfairly, because this is the scales of the Six of Pentacles. So one you give, one you don't. So there may have been a form of dishonesty, which also, it seems that there was a lot of charges against you. And this is what led to the order, which can only be done by an official and or a high priest, uh, to execute your death through stoning. You might have migraines or freaking headaches. You might have inflammatory diseases of burning because you were burned before, right? And death through localized infections as a newborn, which is why they don't even come out here. Issues with the skin can follow you, and also tooth problems, which was very rampant in those days. And that alone killed a lot of people out, took a lot of people out. And there was also cardiac diseases here. And that can happen when you have a problem with your teeth. Develop heart trouble. Very serious. Here. Here we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse, with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So you made a life of crime, of stealing, and doing underhanded stuff with other people's money. Again, why this judgment to end your life was approved. So it seems like there was a lot of tragedy here due to making the same mistakes. In this life, if you have a desire or a propensity for money, and you feel that you love it, or there's some negative influences surrounding money, even now, it may be connected to these successive lifetimes in which there was some form of a dishonesty when it came to business and finance. So you want to make sure that these impulses from the past do not reemerge in this life. Okay, so stay vigilant, and of course, you're always welcome for an extension. I'm gonna have to do that because a lot of you find it popular and text me with it. So I may have to do that. But thank you so much. This was really, really great. I know I sound phony, right? I feel like I'm being phony, but it's because as I lay out the spread and tell you the information, I lose memory of it immediately, right after it comes out of my mouth. So in order not to feel like I'm not being cohesive, I have to kind of like in my head connect it. But I've already forgotten what they were. I see the symbols here, and the energies are now closed. So wow, this is very, very good. We did an hour. We're gonna do 2 more hours. Trying to see if I want Ivan to get the video, so let me refocus on that to make sure I get that. Anyone wants a reading, you're welcome to call within the next few hours. I will be back in another hour so I can rest and replenish. All right, thank you so much in advance for those of you who are doing donations or sending in money for your readings. Definitely will be for tomorrow. Let's see what's on, how many of you put your information and stuff in CashApp, so I can then do the readings tomorrow on Monday or Sunday. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this.